We're in week 7 of my seed starting timeline, and today's an exciting day. I'm heading back to the garden center to hook up with Shakayla. We're going to be doing a tour of Vandemeer Nurseries. It's exciting. Let's get inside.
Speaking of questions, if you have one, please feel free to ask. I do this tour.
We started our tour in the retail section of the nursery, where we were shown how they control the temperature indoors with a computerized system, and also how the plants are watered here.
So we have on this side, on the end, is a drain here with the mesh. It's very grody because that's where all the dirt runs to. Underneath we've got our tubs here, and then we have a pump that we put and submerge in the water. That is going to be connected to our hose here, which is going to come up into about the center of our table. What will happen is the watering staff will turn that pump on, will flood that table water from the bottom, and then all the excess water is going to drain off back into the tub to be reused.
What makes this greenhouse so special is that this is a family-run business that has been passed down through the generations. This greenhouse was founded by Adrian Vandemeer, who immigrated to Canada from Holland. I believe his children currently run the business, and Saskia, our tour guide here, is a granddaughter of the founder. We call him Mr. V.
So, our turtle sanctuary, I just like to stop at because people tend to really love it. So, like I said, we are a sanctuary. We are not turtle store. What that means is we don't buy in any of our turtles to put up for sale. They are all rescues from people who mostly just thought that they would get a turtle as a pet, and they don't realize how long turtles live for. So the large majority of what we have is red-eared sliders, and they are all up for adoption. As soon as we get one adopted out, we have a wait list of other ones that we bring in. This is used specifically for plants that like colder temperatures, so things like the pansies. It's also used for things like the bulbs. So bulbs, while they do prefer a colder temp, they're fine and warmer, but what happens is the warmer it is, the faster they pop, is what we call it. So the faster their flowers or their blooms are going to come up. We don't want to enjoy the blooms here, we want you to enjoy the blooms at home, so we try to hold them as tight as we can for as long as we can, so you get the most amount of time with those flowers.
That makes sense.
The other thing is the ranunculus, they're going to love the temp in here. And things like our early flowering perennials, so hellebores, sometimes Louisia will come in early.
Guys, this was one of my favorite sections of the retail store. Look at all of the ranunculus flowers. They were so tempting. I wanted to take one home, and even the daffodils and tulips that were ready for sale.
They're already dried up. Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're dried up. Yeah, they're just like
That's
little.
why you gotta
Yeah.
Because this was our old production greenhouse. So this is what we call the connector house because it connects 4 greenhouses together. So there's 2 here. We've got 3, 4, 5, and 6. Except for the fact that 6 half collapsed in a snowstorm 3 years ago. So there's half of 6, and you can only access it from the other side.
Oh my gosh, look at all these plants. So the grasses. Oh.
Those are water plants, though, right?
Yeah, that's right. You're right. They're water plants. Man, I need a pond. Right?
Why not?
Experiment with a few plants.
Colocassias. They're gorgeous.
Oh.
Look at the color. Are you like a moody kind of, or do you like pastels? Do you like...
I'm a pastel. Like I like a good pink, purple, light yellow,
Buttery yellow.
butter yellow. Oh. What is it?
I don't know. Look at this part.
not even reading, I'm just like in awe. What is this? Mountain, oh, mountain mint. This is apple twist. What is this? Miss Piggy. Oh, are these I think these are dianthus, if I'm not mistaken.
But we have a recycling program. So all the plastic that we're growing in for our own production is 100% recyclable plastic. So you'll see on the Whataburger pots numbers 2, 5, and 6. Those are all numbers that we can recycle through our program. And you have wholesale growers. The wholesale growers grow about 3 or 4 crops at a time normally, and they do 4 seasons a year of that crop. So they might grow poinsettias at Christmas, Easter lilies in the spring, something else in the summer, and they're very, very good at what they do. They grow that plant by the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of the same plant. They then take that crop and they ship it to garden centers across Canada, sometimes down into the US, depending on what they're providing. They're very good at their one item, and we do use them on occasion for certain things. So, like I said, the potted bulbs are done by a nursery in Niagara area. We could not rival growing that because I don't have the temperature control greenhouse that they do. So we do use them on occasion. Most of the other garden centers are going to be purchasing from lots of different wholesale growers, and they get regular shipments in because they don't have the production facilities that we do. The benefit to why we do this way, because it's a pain for the growers. They are growing 4,500 different varieties. They have to know how to grow all of those, and there's a lot of rotation because we do different pot sizes, we do different crop sizes, we do different plants with different temperatures, different light levels, so on and so forth. So the reason that we kind of do all the extra work, main reason is the quality. We like what we produce. We only have to ship it to the store when we know that we're happy with it. So what you're standing in right now is our loading zone. So everything picked for the store that's ready for sale that we need to restock with comes down the greenhouse, comes across this header rack. So it goes into these table spaces, gets loaded onto carts, and those carts go down to the store. So in order to do that, obviously we need to be efficient. Mostly into a 288, which is this tray here. There's 288 trays or plants in the tray. So she is going to place these on her line. We've got our soil hopper here that's going to move our soil up the back and fill in, which is that right there. Then we've got our dibber. So you'll see that going up and down. That's the big planking that's happening. That is going to create divots in our tray so that our seed sits right in the middle. What that's important for is if we have 2 seeds, one close to one wall and one close to another, when those germinate, they're going to compete for light and space. So we are going to have a either uneven plant where it starts growing sideways, or one will die off and then we have wasted space. We have no space to waste. So even the little cells go right in the seed. The nozzles will pick up the seed onto it. It'll pop back over the tray, release that vacuum suction, and drop it to the ground.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, you are.
Our main source is our rainwater capture, which is on the roof of this building, the roof of our retail store, our outdoor production fields, both to our east and our north. All have tile drainage underneath them to collect that water, and then it all pipes through. I believe our parking lot is collecting as well, so basically anywhere you walk here, you're walking over piping. All of that comes through this walk. Small part of the filter is going through there, then it comes down and goes through one of our 2 treatments. One is ones that are going to be out for sale probably a couple weeks until they really color up. They've all got buds on them, but they've all got open. And I'd just like to mention, does anyone have the pink or the blue hydrangeas at home in their garden?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Is anyone totally unfamiliar with the fact that you can change that color with pH? Most people know, a few blank faces.
Oh, question of that though. You cannot change a white one.
No.
You can't.
No.
Mine did.
Oh.
It went pink.
As a soil filler here, that's going to fill your pot.
Now this part of the tour I found to be very interesting. She talked about how the old potting system required more low-skilled activities, and with the investments they've made in this new system, they've been able to redirect the labor force into more higher-skilled activities due to the automation of their processes. They're not getting rid of jobs, but actually using that labor more efficiently.
Our soil bale goes in. So these big white units are the soil bales compressed. They get hydrated for about 24 hours before because they are pure dry, and it creates too much dust when we unwrap them for staff to breathe in. So we hydrate for at least 24 hours. Then they come into our unit here. So normally this is going to be down on the ground. They get unwrapped, get loaded in by pump cart, and then as it's consumed, the lever lifts, or the platform lifts. There are little teeth at the top that are going to saw back and forth because it is a compressed bale. So they're going to loosen that up, and it's going to come down into the hopper, which is on the other side. And again, same as the other lines we've seen, bring that soil up on top of the pots. Number 2 is with wood fiber. It doesn't compress or float the way that perlite does. So perlite over time will compress and stop serving its purpose of creating air pockets in the soil. And then the other thing is it floats because it's lighter than the soil. It's going to move up to the top of the mix in about a year. Wood fiber doesn't do that. And then number 2 is perlite by nature is a round ball. So when water hits that round ball, it's going to immediately move to the bottom of that ball really, really quickly because that's a nice easy air pocket to move through, and then it hits soil again. Wood fiber, on the other hand, is a linear material. So it's got a line on it, and the likelihood that it hits another piece of wood fiber is pretty high. So if it intersects to another piece of wood fiber and another piece of wood fiber, it is moving that water throughout the soil and down through the mix, so it's not holding too much. So we've been quite happy with it. Again, with those retail growers versus, wholesale growers versus us, wholesale growers can have specialty mixes that are specific for their specific plant type, and it's probably better than ours for any individual plant that we're growing, but ours is a very nice happy medium that's going to work for everything pretty well. And we don't change our soil out for different types other than our seeding line, so everything is grown in this. I want to talk about bugs because I have a few examples in front of us here. So first we've got something like this in the greenhouse that is called a scout card. So it lets us scout what types of insects are coming through the greenhouse. We can keep an easy eye, and it's somewhere that we can watch on a regular basis for monitoring. Then we've got a couple different treatment options here. So first about pests, obviously it's a challenge in any greenhouse environment. We run a program called IPM, so it's Integrated Pest Management, and that is all encompassing everywhere from the beneficials we apply. It does include limited sprays as well, and it is what I'm going to call mechanical aspects as well. So that is the varieties that we pick, that we're picking things that are disease resistant to reduce the likelihood that we need to treat, and the methods that we grow with. So that bottom watering, the flooding that I've talked about, reduces water on the leaves, reduces the likelihood of mildew or mildew spreading. The spacing that I've mentioned, making sure there's airflow around every plant, does the same thing. So what's most interesting to most people is the good bugs. So we use good bugs to fight bad bugs. Bad bugs meaning anything that's going to feed on a plant, and good bugs meaning predator insects that eat the bad bugs. Okay, so there's 2 main treatment methods that we use. One is this bottle here, which is used, it normally has a brand in the package, same as all of our other packaging. They're shipped in a brand material that acts as a bedding. And then there is the beneficial insect inside. So we do a weekly scout and a weekly treat, regardless of what's happening in the
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm gonna go purple.
We can be bougie today and eat them.
Oh, yours colors.
Yeah, look at that.
Cheers.
Cheers!
Okay, are we guys gonna eat them?
Yeah.
All right.